Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna devotees, so welcome to the continuation of our 5th chapter. So Hare Krishna. So
Hare Krishna.
You can
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So today we are going to continue our 5th chapter, which is what's the name of the chapter?
Action in Krishna.
Karma-Sannyasa Yoga.
Correct. Perfect. So action in Krishna conscious, Karma Yoga. So all this. So it's like a repetition of the 3rd chapter. And I'm going to ask after the Mangalacharan, why are we repeating the similar chapter? You know, we heard in the 3rd, and why is there a confusion again in the 5th, right? So let's, oh, Hare Krishna. Hi, Ananya. Good to see you. Just one second. Yes, so we will start. Hare Krishna. So start off with Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimurandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamani Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I'm waiting. Whoever wants to not read, of course, that all of you all are ready. I would like to, today what we are going to do, I'll tell you. Today we are going to see who are the 3 doers. We have 3 doers. So maybe I'll start with this question and then I will rewind. So who are the 3 doers? So the first doer we know is ourselves. The second doer is Krishna, that is the God. And the third doer is the Maya. So I want each one of you all to type in the chat or tell who are the 3 doers, in the sense in our life, something is happening, right? Good, bad, especially bad, right? Who is the person who is instrumental in doing it? So of the 3, can you select who would be the one? Is it the God? Is it the Maya? Or is it, Jiva? Hare, I'm putting a message in the chat.
God.
Arun is telling, okay, Krishna. So he is the doer.
Yeah,
so,
God.
Krishna, I need one. Okay, thank you so much, Krishna. Okay.
It is God.
Mataji is telling all of them influence. Okay. Manjari, Balaji, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Shubham, be only. Okay. Hare Krishna. Jiva. Okay. Hare Krishna. Jiva, Hare Krishna. I was expecting Super soul. Okay.
Paramatma.
Krishna. Thank you. Sunita Mataji is telling Krishna. Abhishek, thank you. I at least was waiting. Somebody will tell Maya. Thanks to Abhishek Patel. Okay. Jiva in the influence of Maya. Okay. Patel is Maya. Kiran is now gone into percentage. Thank you. 70%. Mrinal is Jiva. Okay. So we're going to see that in today's class. So that's why I just didn't want to do this yesterday, because if I'd done that part of it yesterday, it would have been just in the flow. So I thought we'll start with something interesting. And before we go to that session, let's have a quick recap. Who can actually tell what is the difference between the 3rd chapter and the 5th chapter? Yes, you will tell me it's in Krishna conscience. But what I'm telling you is, why is Krishna repeating it again? We already finished it in third chapter. So why is Arjuna confused or seems to be confused all over again?
In third chapter, we do the like a karma without expecting any fruitive results.
Sure.
Here in this chapter, it's like a doing karma and action of Krishna consciousness.
True, you're right. But what you answered one part of my question, which is like, why are we repeating? I mean, why is Krishna repeating? Fine, that's his larger motive, to give more clarity of how to do karma. So it's perfect answer as to why the chapter 5 has come. But my question had two parts. One part you answered, thank you so much, Hare Krishna. But my second part of the question, anybody can answer, so can you, is why in the first place Arjuna is confused? Krishna already resolved it, right? Ekam vada, in the third chapter he told. So why is this coming up again?
Well, Arjun is confused between whether to work, whether to do complete devotion, surrender to Krishna, or whether to do this work.
Perfect. So this is in the second chapter. Perfect. This is one point. So in the chapter, Krishna is telling Buddhi Yoga is the best. So he immediately is confused. Okay, Buddhi Yoga, according to him, is intelligence. And how Mataji told, fruit of activity is something we have to abandon. Okay, so fruit of activity is war. Therefore, I choose between these two. So according to me, intelligence and Buddhi Yoga means I will not do the fruit of activity of war. And therefore, I will run away. So that was his pitch in the third chapter. That is a continuation of pitch. But there is something which happened in the third chapter and in the fourth chapter, which still kept him confused. So he was clear, right? What you told is fine. So that one, Krishna told very clearly that if you are running away, you are becoming a Vrityachar, pretender, basically a hypocrite. Yes, Mrinal, renunciation and spiritual activities, 5th chapter. That is true. All I'm asking is, between the third chapter beginning and the 5th chapter beginning, what happened which kept Arjuna so confused again?
I think because Krishna told that to do karma through jnana.
Perfect. Who said that? That was Arun.
Ji Mataji.
So Arun Prabhu, okay. So what is happening is, slowly, he introduced in the second chapter jnana and compassion, right? For solving compassion. So that is one half, right? Still, I will ask, it's not done completely. So he says, do through jnana. So now you have intelligence. So now I've given you intelligence. So again, he goes back to the square one. Okay, intelligence is there. But again, something happens in the third chapter and fourth chapter. If someone can tell, otherwise I will repeat that too, because it's very important. Otherwise you will think it's he's just speaking the words again and again. So I'll go ahead and tell. Okay. But all of you all very close, but just that little points, because you're in level 2, no? So that expectation is high. Otherwise, perfect. Thank you. So before we start, let's pay our obeisances to Shri Radha Govinda. So 4th chapter revision we already saw yesterday. And the 5th chapter, he's talking of with Arjuna as usual, starting off with the opening question. Krishna, which is easier? Which is the right thing? What should we do? Should I work in devotion or renounce? Krishna says both are correct, because ultimately both goals are the same. However, easier thing is to work in Krishna conscious. And how to perform Nishkama Karma Yoga, Krishna is talking. Now 5.13, we are going to see the platform of knowledge, knowing the 3 doers. We will also cover liberation by focus on the supersoul. How can you focus on the Paramatma and get liberated? And then we are going to see Astanga Yoga. And finally, peace formula, which is what we've been fighting about. So why is there the same confusion? Is because, as Arun Prabhu told, perfect, that compassion jnana, you're not the body or the soul, he gave that. And he also told, like how Mataji told, Buddhi Yoga, so intelligence, but these two, he thinks are contradictory, but he doesn't understand it's complementary. So in chapter 3, he explains. No, Ekam Vada, he says, who runs away is a pretender. Then in 3.17, he says, but for one who takes pleasure, Arun, please read 3.17, Hare Krishna. And the other Mataji, please read 3.18. Go ahead.
But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty.
Hare Krishna. So very clearly he's saying that for somebody who is satisfied in the self, that is Krishna, self, right? So pay attention, self can be Krishna or yourself. Here it's very clearly Krishna. and completely self-realized, has no duty. Acha, okay, so I don't have to perform duty. Though I'm a Kshatriya, I've self-realized now. I don't have to perform duty. So always mind takes what it wants to hear, right? And I sees what it wants to actually, it cooperates with the mind. So that's exactly what it is. Yes, Mataji, you go ahead and read 3.18, Hare Krishna. I think she's muted. Yes.
Yeah, a self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being.
So he's so clear. He is now told that he is someone who has no purpose to do his discharge duty. So Arjuna is thinking, okay, I'm a Kshatriya, I don't have to do the duty. No reason to do any work. Okay, I don't have to do work. Nor he has any need to depend on, okay, I don't have to depend on anyone, right? I don't need to depend on my brothers or the opposite party. So Krishna, you're telling 3.17 and 3.8, I will hold. So now he is like 80% convinced. Now he goes to the 4th chapter, right? And in the 4th chapter, he says, oh, chastiser of the enemy, the sacrifice performed in the knowledge is better than the mere sacrifice of material. So than giving material possession, if you sacrifice in knowledge, and finally he's telling, after all, O Partha, all sacrifice of work works in culmination transcendental knowledge. So now he understands transcendental knowledge has got an edge over everything. So he thinks, okay, I have got the spiritual transcendental knowledge. And since that is the highest and that is the best and that is the greatest sacrifice, then I've got knowledge, I should not fight. So he's clear. So now one more 3.17 and 18 tells him that there is no work. And now he says transcendental knowledge. So which means that he's acquired transcendental knowledge and that's the highest than any other thing. So therefore he decides. And 4.42, Krishna tells again, get up and fight, right? So he's telling, oh my God, so this is a different view of the same. So he says, oh my God, again, he's telling, get up and fight. So this is where, after Krishna glorifying transcendental knowledge, again, he's telling, Hare, what a contradiction is what he is thinking. And then now we go on to the various chapters. Right, so let me, Krishna is 0.51, right? So we already saw the most important thing, thought moves to action, actions become habits, habits become character, and that's the destination. And why Arjuna is confused, I'm reiterating this again, because it's not because Arjuna is dumb or he's less intelligent or he does not trust Krishna, it's because Krishna wanted us to know and he can only make Arjuna confused. So it happens, right? So when a mother wants to teach the daughter-in-law, and if she's doing something grossly wrong, and this is what our president, Namadista Das Prabhu used to tell, that he used to scold the daughter. You tell that, mother used to scold the daughter, telling, hey, this is not the way you do it. This is how. So indirectly, she's giving a message to the daughter-in-law, not to the daughter. Likewise, he used to tell that, if I'm going to scold or if I'm rude to someone very close to me, please don't think it's on you, it's on somebody else, but I can't tell that to the person. So basically, what are we trying to do is, so that's exactly what Krishna is doing. He cannot come and tell, hey, you're wrong. We'll tell, hey, Krishna, go away. We don't want to hear you. So he is directly telling us via Arjuna, where Arjuna is the intermediate, right? So we also saw the difference between Mayavadi Sannyasi and Vaishnava Sannyasis, and very clearly we are moving, we understood a lot of Sankhya philosophy and we moved to the second session, which meant that how to perform the Nishkama Karma Yoga, right? So we also understood a lot of margins, how they perform, and you have to, the underlying line is, I'm not the body, I am the soul, right? I'm the part and parcel of Krishna. I want to render service. I will work in a detached spirit. I will work. I'll not run away. Where is Shyam Prabhu missing? So like how he says, how can we work and be detached? Who are you? I'm a servant of God. And servant means servitorship, which is the highest. And also the final thing is, results should not entangle us, is what is the most important thing. And therefore, Krishna conscience means not inertia, but we are completely in action. We keep doing. How? Like the Padma Patra. How the water does not pollute or create any dirt to the lotus leaf. So are we. We are going to be in this material world, but not part of it. Just like how Prabhupada was with the hippies, but influenced them in favor of Krishna conscious, but he did not get confused. Right? And so what do? The yogis give up on all the attachment and they pray. And finally, we also saw why do we need akarma, because of Nirga who did a lot of pious and yet got into trouble because pious activities also incur sin. Whereas one simple pious, Krishna conscious activity took him to the next level. So for all those and us who think, Hare Krishna.
Sometimes your voice is low and sometimes it is correct. That is happening.
Okay, so I'll keep the same moderation. Hare Krishna. Sure, tell me if you can't hear me. I will. Yeah, thank you so much. So now section 3. So we're talking about 3 doers, performance of 3 doers. So quickly, we are going to see who are the 3 doers. So we just spoke about, and majority of us said Krishna. So let's see. Was few told, 2 told, not few, Maya, and again, I think 3 of you all told us, according to the influence of Maya. So the soul, material nature, and the super soul. These are the 3 objects of discussion in this chapter. And understanding this is very important because most of the time, not most of the time, all the time, the question we tell in one time in our life, right, is that why is this happening to me? Why Krishna, me alone? Right? Neighbors, they are so good, they are so bad, but they are fine. This person is fine. Why me alone? Right? May not be in the literal sense we are cribbing, but tell me, have we not felt this at least once in our life? And why do good things happen to bad people? Yes or no?
Yes, ma. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Sham Prabhu,
Yes.
now I can hear your voice. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, right. So because this is something which is bothering us because we have to understand this chapter. And one contradiction I've always felt is God very powerful, very merciful? These 2 things is always confusing, because if God is extremely powerful, then agreed, then he is very rude. He's not merciful because there's so many good things happening, bad things happening to good people, small kids crying, right? Okay, fine. So you're convinced that God is very merciful, agreed, he's very merciful, he feels sorry for everyone, then he is not powerful because he's not able to stop. This is the feeling we get, right? I mean, deep inside, if you think, one of this is true. Either he is very powerful or he is merciful. We have to pick one. Okay, and all Shastras can't lie and they say both apply. How can that be? Yes or no? Just think logically. Right? If I feel here, Sandhya Mataji is very kind and I go to her house and she does not give me anything to drink, my next conclusion is maybe she doesn't have anything in the house. Right? These are the only 2 conclusions. Either she doesn't want to give me or she's not having anything to give. So it cannot be like she's having a lot, at the same time she's very broad-minded to give and yet she's not giving. Is our understanding right? Is it heavy or are we in the same pace?
This is generally true, yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Right. So this is where all of us keep contemplating and we forget about God because we have problems. Where do we have time to think of his problem and his thought? So what is happening is what we're going to see. And as usual, whoever wants to read, raise your hand and you all take turns. So I'll start with the shloka. Hare Krishna, 5.13. Doer 1, Jiva. Yes, Arun, Hare Krishna. Yes, Arun, Hare Krishna. Sarva karmani manasa sannyasya Samvashi Navatvare Pure Dehi Naiva Kurvan Nakarayan. Hare Krishna.
When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done.
Very clearly read. 9 gates. What are the 9 gates? Hare Krishna.
Mouth,
Nose,
ears,
ears.
nose, genitals, anus.
Yes.
Did you tell eyes also, Prabhu?
Yes. 2 eyes.
Yeah, 2 eyes. Thank you so much, Mansaji.
Ears. Mouth.
Yes. Yes. The other 2 said yes. So these are the 9 gates, right? So, so knowledge of 3 doers, we are jumping in. So the doer, the self, he's situated in the city of 9, in this body, right? Which has got 9 holes. Why do they say 9 holes? Is when the jiva, that is when the conscious leaves the body, it has to leave one of these holes. Okay, and it is also said that if it goes via the upper holes, right, then it will go to the higher planets. Through lower holes, then it will go to the whatever, Padal Loka or hell or whatever, lower.
Patala Loka.
Yeah. A lot of planets are there below, Prabhu, not just Padal Loka. So doer number one. So this is one. Not working or cause work to be done. He's not working. He's not doing anything. This is what our feeling, okay? Does not create activity. He's not creating any activity, right? He does not indulge in others' action also. Does not create the fruits of the action. Happiness or distress comes from where? See, the jiva by itself, whatever you said is right, is a very innocent one. No? Sitting, waiting, when you run, let me run, I will run. I am not happy like how the picture is shown. I'm not sad. Okay. And the body is dead matter, right? So jiva is silently sitting there. So one renounces the result, he will live happily. That is the final solution. But who is the doer, right? He's sitting casually, and we'll come to that, right? I'll revisit this one. Now the second one is Maya, right? So Maya. So please, doer two, material nature. So yes, please go ahead and read. Hare Krishna.
The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature.
See, someone told, are they under the influence of the nature? Very good. See, the poor fellow is silent. We all thought, no, that poor fellow of ours. We only poor fellow. Inside, we are such a nice fellow. We are so silent. We are so good. Look at that Maya, doer too. She, because is enacted by that Maya only, no, we are doing all this. Correct? No, we are all convinced. Like two of you all told, no. 5.14 also saying that. So 5.15, let's see this. Where is our Krishna running off? So let's catch him. Please go ahead.
Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge.
So Super Lord also we are telling Krishna only is doing, but then this sloka 5.15 is saying that he is not responsible for both pious and sinful. Oh my God, so this is very confusing. So finally, Krishna is not doing. Jivatma is very innocent, it's not doing. Somewhere it's positioning Maya. Why is Maya doing? You know, is Maya our enemy? Is she doing for a particular reason? So let's try and see. This is very important. We're going to spend some time in this. Understanding the three doers and how they work is very important. Doer two is the modes of material nature, right? Agreed. So she's only doing, that's what we spotted, right? And why they are doing, we have to see the reason. I'm not going to show you the reason. Now tell me, why is that doer two doing material nature? No, there's no right or wrong answer. So why? God is telling, I am not biased. I am not partial, right? Do good also, bad also, your wish only. I am your own decision. Now we all spoke that, okay, Maya Devi is doing. Why is she doing? Is Maya Devi a personal enemy of, of Lavanya Mataji or Mahendra Pal Prabhu? Or is she a close, is she an enemy for them? Or is she a very friend of Govind Prabhu and, and Kartika Mataji? That, she wants to do good to them and she wants to corner the other two.
Actually, Maya is controlling our mind, and that's why I will say Maya. Sometimes mind is our friend and enemy sometimes.
Yes, Mataji, but my only doubt is, you're telling me Maya is our friend. We're going to touch on 6.6 shloka tomorrow. So sometimes Maya is friend, sometimes is enemy. Why? On what basis, Mataji? Is it because when you wear a lovely dress, Maya likes you, or when you wear a bad dress, Maya hates you? There should be a specific reason, right? So Maya, see, because there's no concept of someone who's a friend and an enemy, right? We'll either have a friend or an enemy, which will come in 6.6, and now you leaked my paper. I agree with you. So sometimes she behaves like a friend, sometimes like an enemy. Why?
Those who control their senses, who control their, for them, Maya works as, in favor of them. For those who can't control their senses and all, Maya works against them.
Very nice. So very clearly agreed. So Maya Devi, we are telling, is as long as you control your senses, you've almost come there. Right? So very beautiful answer. Very beautiful. If you can control senses. Yes, Mataji.
Options.
Yes,
It's like
sorry.
God is giving us, it's like God is giving us two options. One is good, one is bad. Like one is influenced by Maya and one is influenced by our own intelligence. So it's up to the person to choose.
Super. Thank you so much, Manjari Mataji. Amazing answer. This is exactly, Arun Prabhuji, you were there, but I think Manjari Mataji just hit the nail. So Krishna is giving a choice. So most of us who said that Krishna is a doer, if he is a doer, then why would he make someone drink alcohol, and why would he make someone drink coconut water? And if that choice, like how she said, is in Krishna's hand, then we are not people who are doing it. We are people who are robots, right? It's like a robot, but we are Jivatma. Why? Because Krishna does everything on free will, right? He has complete freedom, and therefore we are his Jivatma. We are at his marginal potency. So we have limited freedom to do. So as she rightly said, we have a choice. So it's just to make it clearer, right? All of you who have kids, and those who don't have kids, maybe your younger brother or younger sister, right? You give 10 rupees, okay? Now you're giving 10 rupees and the child, you expect the child to go and eat maybe a cup of milk in the college or school. You also know that probably you tell, hey, take milk, it's good, and she will he or she out of 5 days will take 1 day milk just to satisfy balance. 4 days, you know that she is going to buy a chocolate, you're prepared, right? So what have you sanctified is milk. What you've sanctioned, it's okay. I've given you 10 rupees. I'm okay with you taking, chocolate. It's okay. I know she's going to do it, but I'm convinced. But, she or he is going and picking up a cigarette for 10 rupees. So can I go ahead and tell, Mataji, Prabhu, you only bought her cigarette. Can I tell that? All silent, all are shocked.
No, Mataji, it was a choice of the child.
So basically, the 10 rupees belongs to you. The child does not have the 10 rupee. You have given the 10 rupees. So who bought the cigarette? The child is telling, who gave you money to buy the cigarette? Mama gave me and Papa gave me. The child is right. The child is not lying.
Yes.
But his choice is wrong.
Thank you so much. You got the correct. Absolutely. So the child is not lying. Yes, Anirban Basu Prabhu, the child is not wrong. She's not lying. She's correct. Who gave money? Mama, Papa gave. But did the Mama, Papa give? The next question is, did Mama and Papa give the money for smoking? No. People don't ask, where did you get the money from? Did you steal? Did Mama, Papa give? Mama only gave, or Mama only gave. It will not be Mama or Papa also. It will be Mama. Such a bad Mama giving cigarette. No. But the fact is this. So this is exactly why I'm telling all this is now the God is given a choice. Like how Mataji told beautifully, the choice is given. And the choice to choose is in the hands of us.
Jiva.
Yeah. Now the Jiva will tell, I don't know, the modes are doing it. Okay, fine. So what is the role of Maya Devi? Right? The role of Maya Devi is Krishna is telling, you are very good. You are amazed. Like, why do you give 10 rupees to the child? You feel that the child, you don't know the child is going to take cigarette or whatever. You feel the child is very good, has done the homework or has done the cleaning or whatever, right? So you are telling, hey child, you've done a lot of work, so I'm going to give you 10 rupees, right? So therefore, you are giving a credit to the child for the performance of the good activity, not with the intention you will buy cigarette, right? So now the same thing, Krishna is telling, hey child, you have got so many credits in your previous Janma. So based on your karma balance, I am going to give you this amount, whatever, right? I'm sanctioning whatever you wish. You want money, I'm sanctioning it. Okay. So, and he tells Maya Devi, because he is not going to come here, right? So he's telling Maya Devi, who is a subordinate, hey Maya, give him what he wants. So Maya is telling, okay, fine. Krishna, you told me he's got the credit, so I'm going to give him, whatever, like 10 lakh rupees. I'm giving 10 lakh rupees. Now the choice, or for the small child, we take 10 rupees. Such a good baby, sanction. Now the choice of what it is. Now you take the 10 rupees to 10 lakh or 1 crore or 10 crore is with us. So I can either go and put it in a temple, do a karmic job, which is sanctioned, or, do anything Krishna conscious, or I can go and build a nice house, which is also sanctioned, right? Which is fine. Or I can go and create a bomb and destroy the next state. Hare, money Krishna only gave, right? But the fact is, he never told you to do that, no? You have chosen that. But the fact is, every time we do, there's a tendency. You commonly will come across a lot of atheists. So my brother was having a conversation. He said his friend was telling that he drinks. Fine. So, God gave a choice. God only made me drink. I thought, very beautiful. So there is poison also. God gave a choice. Instead of drinking alcohol, he can also take the bottle of poison and put in his mouth. He doesn't do. Why? Because his intelligence tells him, boss, if you take that, you will die. right? And the same guy who's a drunkard, if he gets a gastritis or any ulcer, you'll immediately stop, because he knows that if he's going to have another drink, he's going to go straight to hell. So this is the most important point which we have to be convinced, so that then you'll understand what is the role, right? So therefore, role of the soul is that of an initiator. He initiates, he desires, he thinks, okay, I want to do it. And role of the material nature is the facilitator. Okay, I will help you to do it, provided Krishna tells me. Krishna is a sanctioner, approved. Like your bank loan. You apply for a bank loan, you initiate the paperwork, right? And the facility is provided by the middleman, who is our material nature, filling the paper, he takes approval, he sends. And the manager is a sanctioner, he approves. Now that you take the money and you're supposed to build your house, but what if you go and put it in your lottery ticket and you lose? Because you have a choice, right? Of course, they are policing it, but there are enough ways to get over the fraudulent way. How can you do that? Can you can the banker put a spy next to every person whom he is sanctioning, or put a video camera and watch you 24 hours, which you won't like? You'll tell, hey, I asked you for money. I never wanted you to spy me, right? That's exactly what Krishna also you won't want to do. You don't want Krishna to breathe through our neck because you want freedom. You don't want him to lord because we are the big boss. We want to be here on the earth. So he said, okay, I'll give you independence. Even if he gives you independence, he is coming as Paramatma in your heart. But what he does not do, and what we don't like him to do, is walk us through every step. No, he is helping, he is watching, and he is telling us. So this is what it is. So role of that is there. And the problem is ignorance or bewilderness, right? So if we are ignorant, we don't understand. So this is just quick summary. So Jiva desires, Krishna, verifies and sanctions based on our credits. So now Maya Devi does. And finally, what happens after receiving Super Soul's order, Maya acts to three natures. Why? Krishna, I want a lot of money. Okay. So for a lot of money, he has to make Maya Devi. So that means, okay, you need a lot of money. I'm not going to give it to you. We are in material world, right? You're not in spiritual world. So you do not have a desire tree where money can drop. Okay, fine. I will give you the quality of Rajas. Run, start a business, run for this, become a CEO. What you need? You cannot have a tamas. You can't be lazy. Sattva gunam is not just enough, because you'll be content. Run. Therefore, Maya gives that Rajogunam. Now you will tell Maya is giving Rajogunam. So that is why I'm doing. Agreed. Maya is giving you Rajogunam because you want that. We want something which can happen with the Rajogunam. You cannot have that particular. You can't have. You can't be fasting and telling that I'm eating a cake and it's fasting, right? You can't have both. So Maya Devi, why is these gunas coming, is based on your karma and guna, right? We have a body. So what is the karma is your credit. And why do you have the karma is because of the fact that you want a particular thing. And that desire is sanctioned. For that sanction, you need Maya Devi to give you that body which will come in a particular category, which will make you in that category. Right? So I am so innocent, correct, but this is what it is. You want it. That's why you got Rajas Gunam. Rajas is not a complimentary gift coming to you. It's a package of yourself, right? So that, did I clarify this or did I confuse?
Understood.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Soul and super soul. So soul is eternal. Super soul is also eternal. It's blissful, but suffers when covered with Maya. It's always blissful, but he's above the modes. He's cognizant of his body, whereas super soul knows all body. We are small, so we have limited freedom. He's Vibhu, omniscient. He's minute independence is there. But you have to depend on the super soul. He has complete independence. How? It's very hot outside. I want it cold. Okay, you can create AC, you can buy AC and put, that's the independence. But I want to walk in the hot sun and the AC feeling should be there. No, not possible. For that, you have to come to the spiritual world, where you'll have light also, Brahma Jyoti also, and you'll have the feeling of AC. So you have that minute independence that you are sitting in a room or inside a car, you can put a remote and make your room AC. But you do not have a complete independence that wherever I walk, I will keep AC, my body temperature will be regulated. That facility we don't have. That's why we have minute independence, and Krishna has complete independence. Now we're going to move on 17 to 26, liberation by focus on the super soul. So one who in knowledge, devotion, fixes his conscience on the super soul. So this is talking about meditation, attains liberation. Right? So as usual, Mataji, Prabhuji, one of you can read, and after my shloka, Hare Krishna. 5.17. Tad buddhayas tadatmanas tad nishtas tat parayanah gachanti punarravirtim jnana nirduta kalmashah. Hare Krishna. On the right.
When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation.
So very clearly, when this knowledge is used to focus on supersoul, right? We are very clearly telling when one's intelligence, mind, faith, refuge are fixed in supersoul. So when the knowledge is fixed on supersoul, that is, then he can act only in one way, the akarmic way, transcendental, right? So what happens in the transcendental way? This particular transcendence, if it is focused on supersoul, finally he is going into the path of liberation. So that is mentioned in 15. And Hare Krishna, 5.18, very important shloka, it's an every shloka. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini suni chaiva swapa kecha pandita samadarshina. So
The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see the equal vision, a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater.
So Vidya means somebody who is knowledgeable, right? So obviously a sage is knowledgeable. Vinaya means he's very humble, down to earth, right? And Suni Chaiva Swapake. So I'm sorry for the disturbance. It's a fire alarm. And they keep doing this fire alarm test so much that tomorrow if there is genuinely fire, none of us will know. Just like how I'm continuing the class, I'm not even bothered to check if the alarm is working or not, right?
This is called a mock drill.
Prabhu, mock has to be one. It should be
We call it as a mock drill. In the industry, we will do whether the system is working or not.
But so many mocks you do, we don't respect mock only. We'll just leave it. Right?
Okay.
So sorry for the disturbance. Thanks, and thanks, Prabhu, for going on for a while. Okay. So, so what is happening is, Vidya is very knowledgeable. Vinaya is somebody who I told is extremely, humble, and Brahmana is a Brahmin. Gavi talks about cow. Hastini is elephant, Suni is dog, and Swapakeva is somebody who eats, is a dog eater. Dog eater literally may not be a dog eater, but he's someone below the outcast, right? He's called outcast, he's below the Sudra. Pandita Samadarshini, he sees an equal vision. So this doesn't mean he will call the dog and serve food in the dining table. He understands they are in the body, but he thinks everyone are part and parcel of Krishna. He's a Uttamadhigari and he believes in super soul. So it's, as it said, he sees everyone equal, right? There's no difference. So he does not see rich, poor, all of that. So that's what is his specialty. And this is what we read in the second chapter called Dhira. And we will see Mahajans also who follow Vedas, who are 12 people who are dedicated to Krishna. All of them have this kind of a quality, right? So, so this is also in Ishopanishad. It goes like this: Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanevanu sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tadona vijugupshate. Hare Krishna. That means everyone he sees as a part and parcel of Krishna, right? Situated in Brahman 5.17 to 18. Someone can read this. Hare Krishna.
When one fixes his consciousness on the supersoul, his intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are focused. He is free from doubts because he has knowledge of the three doers. He sees that the supersoul is sanctioning but impartial. Sees with equal vision because he has knowledge. He is not this body and knowledge of the supersoul.
Thank you so much. So very clearly, now you understood. So he understands, mainly understands three doers, and it is very important we understand three doers because we will not crib and we will take it very practical. Symptoms of a self-realized person, 5.19 and 5.20, right? 5.19, please go ahead. We are going to read about somebody who is very self-realized in that category, right? Samadarshana, whoever saw. So we'll see what are his symptoms. Hare Krishna.
Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman.
So very clearly, those who are minds are established in the sameness, right? They are equal. They are already conquered death. So that means they are already liberated because they don't care. They are flawless, right? And they are, what do they mean by they are flawless like Brahman? That means they are so perfect and they are already situated because they are in a liberated state. Nothing is going to affect them, which means that though they are in the material, like Padma Patra, right? Like the lotus, they are in the material world, but they're just so unaffected. So naturally, they are very elevated and they are self-realized. 5.20, Hare Krishna.
A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, unbewildered, and who knows the signs of God, is to be understood as already situated in transcendence.
So clearly a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant or nor laments about obtaining something unpleasant, right? He's very equipoised, right? Means what? He understood God. He understands three doers. He understands law of God. He understands signs of God, which means he's already in the transcendental position because nothing bothers him. And for such a person, 5.21, he's going to explain. Hare Krishna.
Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme.
Hare Krishna. So very clearly, he is not attracted to sense pleasure, right? So nothing disturbs him. He's so clear and his happiness is unlimited because he's focusing only on Krishna. So can someone tell me this picture depicts whom? Who is in the picture and what is he talking about? Can anyone guess whose picture is it and who's that lady?
Yesterday's story, the picture.
She's a prostitute who comes to disturb. I don't remember the name. Disturb him, and he keeps saying, "I have some more rounds to do. I have some more rounds to do." And finally, she becomes a devotee of Krishna, and she also starts meditating.
Yeah, very nice. Yes.
Is it Ajamila?
No. This is not Ajamila. This is a story of Haridas Thakur.
Haridas Thakur. Okay.
Yes. So he is called Namacharya because he used to chant 3 lakh times, right? So he used to chant for about 20 to 22 hours a day. And, and they tried many ways of attacking him and they failed. So they thought that the best way to disturb him is to send a prostitute. And she was a prostitute and very renounced prostitute, very popular, very famous. And she comes there and it is also said she's Maya Devi. She personally comes and the first day he says, I've not finished my chanting. He sends her off. The second day also he says that I'm so sorry, but I'll make it really fast. And the third day he says, you wait here. I'll finish fast and I'll come to you. So she's sitting and she's listening. And at the end, she gets so absorbed in the chanting and she completely apologizes and tells him the full story. And Haridas Thakur very sweetly says, I know, because I was supposed to leave this place for 3 days, but I've been waiting here. Why? Because he was waiting to liberate. Right, so that is the point. And someone told me Ajamila, right? It's a very important point. So Ajamila also, the moment he saw the prostitute, it's not that he immediately went. He started telling a lot of shlokas because Brahmanas learned, right? So whatever his father taught, he was telling. His eyes was fixed and his mind was not under control. That differentiates Haridas Thakur. He was sitting in isolation. Literally, he had everything which he could do for 3 days. However, he never got tempted, right? So why am I telling both the examples? And I'm so happy to brought this up because we are not in Haridas Thakur stage. We are all in Ajamila stage. So see something, the chance of we getting carried is much higher. Therefore, the best thing is to get out of the place. And Haridas Thakur is so different, right? He is so exalted that it's not going to disturb him. And 1 minute we deviate from the subject. And I used to we strongly have a different feeling from young, right? School time, college time. I come from my dad's side, all are doctors. So it's doctor's family. So I've heard this concept of wine test. So, and they all used to tell that, what is wine test? Wine test is something which is where you have, especially when somebody is an alcoholic and he gets treated, they actually, the final conclusion they give is they keep wine right before him. After seeing the wine, if he doesn't take, he's considered ultimate, right? He's considered a sober person. Like Haridas Thakur, right? Yeah, I'll mute everyone. Sure, thanks. So I will consider, he's considered the great person. So I always had this in mind, and I used to think, okay, so that means that we should not indulge, but we should see, and then we should take a call. So I used to think that I have never seen alcohol, then, it's not great. So I used to tell that, okay, I can go even to a pub, I can go to a bar, I will see alcohol, it should be next to my glass, and I will not touch that alcohol, and I will take this. This is only great. This is how I used to think, right? And I realized I was wrong when I heard Prabhupada's lectures. In one of the lectures, very beautifully, he had said, when you know it's a stool and it is bad, you don't taste it, right? So we know it's bad, right? So how many of them, we've all heard that stool is bad. How many of them say, okay, it's bad, let me taste and see if it tastes bad? How many? Somebody will tell, no, when I was a 1-year kid, my mom told that I used to live, but that was innocent. Because when you're a small child, you're like an animal. You don't really know what to do. You sit in that, you bathe in that, you're in the animal life. So all I'm telling you is, can you tell me for sure, right? Can you tell that, no, I will taste, or I will go sit next to it, keep my face next to it, exactly the way I'm talking, right? So why am I saying that is because that was a real eye-opener for me. When I realized that everything is not that you have to be there or see there and experience. And also after reading the 3rd chapter, Mrityachar, I realized this advice I should stop, because I may have a principle and maybe, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying maybe I'll be able to cross over it. But if I advise this principle to 5-6 people, out of the 5-6 people, maybe 1 or 2 go there, they may get tempted and also drink, right? So I'm actually giving a wrong advice to someone who probably may not have the principle so strong and just follow because I'm saying and then land up in trouble. So why I'm saying this is, many times these are examples which there's something called Anushmaran and Anukaran, which means what we follow and what we follow. These are like Bilva Mangalaka. We need not take a knife and we poke our eye, right? So Haridas Thakur, very exalted. Can we do it? No, we can't do so many rounds. So let's just stick to 16 rounds, right? So that we can maintain consistency. We can still do 100 rounds a day, we all decide. But can we consistently do? We can't, right? So, and even 16 rounds, we don't just take today and do. We just bring it over a period of time. So that is important. Hare Krishna. Yehi samsparshanja bhoga dukkayo naya evate adi antavanta kaunteya nate churamate buddhaya. Hare Krishna.
An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them.
Hare Krishna. Sparsha, right? Sparsha is contact, right? Bhoga, we already said bhoga and tyaga. Bhoga means, attached to anything. Dukkha means sadness. Adi anta, adi beginning, anta end, right? So very clearly what they say, intelligent person, does not take part in the source of misery, right? Which are due to the contact with the material senses. Why? We are going to see this. That does not have a beginning, because there's no beginning and there's no end. So this is a moth, light moth, which gets attracted to light and it just goes out of control. The moment it sees light, it just has to run after light. That's the quality of this particular moth. And now what is happening is, it's like suicide, right? It goes there and gets stuck. Now this is that of a deer, and it is very sensitive for the ears, right? The first one is eyes. Her sensation is ears. So how the person, hunter, attracts is, he will sing nice music and it comes near him and he will attack. So sensitive hearing. This is smell, right? The bee comes to drink. Just 1 second. The bee comes to drink nectar, and when the bee drinks nectar, it's so greedy, it keeps drinking, taste. And then what happens, as dawn comes, the flower closes its petals, and therefore the bee dies. Fish is in the sea, and in the water there are so much of food, right? Krishna has provided a lot of food, but what is used as a bait? We put another fish above, so it has to put so much efforts to jump and catch the fish. Again, sense of taste, right? So someone's eye, ear, smell, and taste. One sense is very high, and see how it gets caught. And one more, I forgot the fifth sense, which is the elephant. The she elephant is trained to go around the pit, and the he elephant follows and jumps into the pit. This is how they catch the elephant. This is all for each animal where one sense dominates, and human animal has all senses dominating. For us, every sense is very high, right? That's why we call we have high level of senses, yes. So which means a high level of risk is also involved, right? This is one of my continuation of favorite shlokas, which talks about tolerate. Now Krishna is going to answer Arjuna, and as I am going to talk about this chapter, I request each one of you to put in the chat. We have already seen tolerance in one chapter. I'll be very happy if you mention the chapter name. If you the shloka name also, I'll be even more happy. Chat is open and we will read through the shloka. Hare Krishna. Tolerate agitations till the end of life, right? Hare Saknoti haivaya shodhum Rakshariravi mokshanat Kama krudodbhavam vegam Sayukta sasukhinara. Hare Krishna.
Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and he is well situated and is happy in this world.
So before giving up the present body, right? Before you even give up the body, one is able to tolerate the urges, right? So material senses and check the force of desire and anger. He is well situated and he is happy. Why are they telling that? We saw Varna and Ashrama. Varna we know is the four places where you are born in, right? Ashrama is the 4 stages of life. So at every stage, right? First 25 years, next 25, next you can't give up. But the last 25 years, you're trained to give up your attachments for the body. And that is what makes you a true successor, right? So that is very important. And if you're able to tolerate the urges of material and give up even before death, then that's great. Okay, I'm going to die 100 years, so 99th year I give up, great. Or maybe like Ajamila, I will not, the death by God. Or no, maybe I will take a gun right here and put it here and tell Krishna, Kabal, you think all this is going to work? Because even if you call out the name Krishna, your mind is not going to think of Krishna, right? So what Krishna is telling is, start learning now, and you have to tolerate the urges till your dying day, right? So I was expecting my chat to be overcrowded and overthink, but nobody has messaged. Which chapter did we read about tolerance? Besides this, tolerate the climate crisis. Yeah, Shobha, you're right. You're right. But which chapter it came? That was one.
Second.
Who said second?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Shobha. Okay, Hare Krishna. Shobha Mataji. Perfect. So anyone can take a guess on which shloka, or if you know the shloka. Okay, 2.14. Matra spashtastu kaunteya sitoshnu sukha dukkada agama paino anityas tamstiga shashvata bharata. He tells us like how a man, even in the burning heat, has to go out and, in the cold weather, right? It's chill. It's really freezing, and the man has no choice but go out and work. He has to take bath at 4. No heaters, gazers. So cold water he has, and so is a lady, in the heat. And it's not like we have a microwave or something. Those days, those fire and burning from up, you burn yourself. You are literally, in that fire. What do you call that? We have a holiday, right? Where we put a fire and we go around it. I'm not getting the name. Also during Sankranti, we also do it fire and
bonfire.
Sorry?
Bonfire.
Thank you so much. We hit the area says bonfire, right? So it's not bonfire. Bonfire we do when the climate is good and you relish. Here, you will be in fire, you will be burning. Top of it, hot sun, because they cook typically, they do not cook at morning 4 or 6 o'clock or something, like they cook every meal, right? They do cook at 6 in the morning, but it's like every meal they cook. So at 4 o'clock, they will do. right? And all this they are going to do at every stage. And so this is what is going to happen. And can you imagine something like this is happening? And what are you trying to do? You are trying to get burnt, and you're cooking in a hot oven. And it's so weird, right? So we should never do something like this and get burnt up. But you just don't have a choice, right? Why am I saying all this is because you have to tolerate. They've tolerated that, and he's telling here. So till when should we tolerate? Till the end of life. This is so important, and I'm reiterating this again because this is a learning lesson for us in our life. 1 second. So we have to learn this and be tolerant at any time of our life, because this takes us close to Krishna. Why should we tolerate? Why should I not give? It's not that you have to take every hit. No, that's not what we meant. What we meant is tolerate so that you are closer to Krishna. If someone is doing wrong, it is not that you have to tolerate and someone is coming and putting a stick on your head, you have to take it. No, you can retaliate, you can tell, but don't react. You can explain in a proper way instead of reacting, right? How long do I have to tolerate? Until one tolerates until the death of the body, till the end. Where one gets the strength to tolerate by focusing happiness, activities and goals inward. Inward means you are the Bautika, you can't change, but you can change the way you're looking at Adi Bautika, which means the outside world, by correcting your inside. Adi Atmika, right? So there was a small child which was making ruckus in the bus, so much of ruckus, and people were so irritated with the child. There was an old man sitting there. I'm sure most of you would have heard the story. So much irritated everyone, right? And they just told that old man that why you're not controlling the child. So he said that because I don't have the energy to control my child, because I lost my son and daughter-in-law in an accident. This is my grandchild. So everyone kept quiet. Everyone. So has things changed? Has ruckus changed? No. But what happened? Adi Bautika remains same, right? The disturbance of the child continues. But your Adi Atmika has changed. The way you see the child is now different. So you have changed yourself. You have tolerated, right? So that is what. So you can't change the person around. But what you can do is you can change yourself. He engages in purity, his external activities by working for the benefit of others, right? So that is what, which means that he's already a liberated soul. And, let's move on to 5.24. Hare Krishna. Please go ahead and read, Mataji. Very tiny letters, sorry. Hare Krishna, can you see?
Yes.
I'll read, Mataji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
When a person is actually in the
Left.
Yes. One whose happiness is within, who is active within, who rejoices within, and is illuminated within, is actually the perfect mixed. He is liberated in the supreme, and ultimately he attains the supreme.
So one whose happiness is within, right? And he's active within and rejoices within. So everything is inside. He's so illuminated because he's a perfect mystic. He's so liberated because he's not going to be affected, right? So there are two ways of seeing. So when I was coughing, right, there was a Mataji who said, please stop and drink water, right? So I can see it in two ways. I understood its concern. So I took it in that way that, she's saying that. I can also take it, hey, she's telling me to stop. Who is she to tell me to stop? I am teaching. I am going to be the moderator. How can she tell me this? Her motive could be different. She could have meant anything, right? But it doesn't matter. But it's the way I see it, right? So if I thought in that spirit, then it makes me happy. But if I'm going to tell that, how can she do? Imagine my blood is boiling, my anger is going up to the roof, my head is going. Okay, now let's assume that she's genuinely bad and she's like really cornering me. Okay, and I want to go equal to that person, right? I will really give her back. Okay, now assume that my mode is mode of passion and her mode is mode of ignorance. She's still there, and to go there, what am I doing? I'm going down. So am I actually at the same level? No, she's in the same level. She's in ignorance. She's giving in ignorance, but I am going down, right? Do you have to go down? That's a bad example, right? That's a bad example. So that's exactly what it is. So let's say that you're going in the car and somebody is throwing a stool at you from road. Will you go down and take the same stool and throw at that person? No, because the person is sitting on that stool. Now, if you're going to do it, doesn't make a difference, right? So that is what the way you think. And roles play a major role, because that will make you, if somebody is too good or too bad, you start analyzing and decide what you have to do. Let's move on to 5.25, Hare Krishna. And attendance is there after the class. Please go ahead and do. Hare Krishna.
When a person is actually in the knowledge that Krishna is fountainhead of everything, then when he acts in that spirit, he acts for everyone. The sufferings of humanity are due to forgetfulness of Krishna as the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor, and the supreme friend.
Very clearly, so when the person is actually that Krishna is the fountainhead, right? When he is the Ishwara, like Brahma Samhita first, right? Ishwara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karna Karanam. Then he acts in the spirit that he acts for everyone, right? He thinks everyone. We saw, right, Samakrishna, that he does not have anything. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Gramine Sari Hastini, Suni Chaiva Swapakeva, Pandita Samadarshina. Hare, the shloka is very familiar. What Mataji is thinking? Yes, because we just read it, in 5.18, right? So we just read now. So he sees everyone equally, right? So when you understand Krishna as a superior enjoyer, he's the Purusha, then what happens is, do you think he's the proprietor? And he's a supreme friend. So that is very important. And this will come up many times. And 5.26, Hare Krishna.
Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future.
So those who are free from anger, material desires, if you're free from that and you're self-realized, right, self-disciplined, perfect, your liberation is automatic, right? It's in the near future. You don't have to worry. We are coming to the last session. I will just take 5 minutes because there's only 2 shlokas here. Liberation through Astanga Yoga, practice of Astanga Yoga gives the same liberation. So this one is Hare Krishna. Sparshan kritva bahi bhayam chakshuschaivantare dhruvo prana pano samo kritva vasabhyantara charino yatendriya mano buddhir munir moksha parayana vigatte chabaye khuda yasada mukta sevasha. Hare Krishna, please go ahead and read.
Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the 2 eyebrows, suspending the inward and the outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated.
Very clearly, right? So we are going to, this Krishna is just giving an introduction to Astanga Yoga. One is Bhakti Yoga. So Astanga Yoga is a concept where you go to an isolated place, you'll be sitting like this, you leave everybody, no mobile, okay, and you will not take package of food. It's not backpack, it's not a holiday, it's not a venture, it's you go alone and you keep meditating all by yourself. Would anybody be interested in following that yoga? Anyone interested in, Would anybody like to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Sham? Yes, Prabhu,
No,
anybody
Mataji.
else? No, acha, okay. But I need one request. I can't do an exclusive session for Sham alone next week. So please, all of you come. Let's read Astanga Yoga, what Krishna is telling, and Sham Prabhu is going to follow that. But we will all listen, and because it's told by Krishna, so we'll see what is the road. Why is it coming up? Because Arjuna is telling, I want to run away in the forest and do. So tomorrow you will tell, he is told one way in the 5th chapter, right? Do karma, do your activity with me in mind. He's also, tomorrow you will tell, how do you know that Arjuna can't do Ashtanga Yoga? How can you tell that he cannot go to the forest and do all this? He already has done that, right? In early, he'd been in Gurukul. It's not a forest, but then, it's a forest area. He has seen a lot of hardships. He has actually been, in exile. Then how can you tell that? Right? I know we will all ask. So Krishna is telling, okay, Ashtanga Yoga is this. If you want to practice that, I'm going to give you that. So 2 options, right? One is Karma Yoga, another one is Karma-Sannyasa. So the Astanga Yoga practice or Dhyana Yoga is going to talk very quickly in the next chapter, and this is just an intro. We conclude this chapter in 5.19. Peace formula we all need. Place peace on the platform. What does he say? A person in full conscious of Krishna attains liberation from the pangs of material mysteries. Where, when? He's going to explain. 5.29. Ram Yagna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sukridim Sarva Bhutanam Natim Mam Chantim Rakshati. Hare Krishna. Please go ahead.
The sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and the well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries.
So very clearly, Bhukta Ram, right? So we read, what are we telling, right? Yagna Tapasa, all tapasas. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. He is the Maheshwara, Ishvara of all the lokas, not just this, right? Not only the material planet, also the spiritual planet. Sukridam is a very lovely word which means friend, best friend and well-wisher. Sukridam, right? So Sukridam, and Prabhupada explains friendship in 3 levels, right? Of this, Sukridam is the highest. Sarva Bhutanam, right? Of all the living entities. Bhutanam means living entities. Okay, and so one who thinks that I am the proprietor, right? I told Isha Vashamidam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bunjitha Magrida Kashyas Viddanam. Isha, yeah, that means what? He is the supreme proprietor, Isha's Vasha, right? Principle. So what is he telling you? Understand your quota system and follow. So here he's saying a similar thing. He's, all the tapas, all the yagna, he's the Ishvara for all lokas. And if you consider him as a best friend, you are guaranteed of peace. This is the final thing. This is again a memory verse, very nice, very important. So you see the cowherd boys, they are constantly peaceful. So even when there was this snake demon, Krishna was telling, he was so anxious, he's telling, don't go. He's telling, Krishna, you're there, right? So why do I worry? You're there. So the anxiety is moved from the cowherd boys to Krishna. Now Krishna is anxious. So are we, right? So now any situation, we tell Krishna, you're going to take care. Now the anxiety is there, right? Energy, we say, right, cannot appear or disappear. It can be moved. So we want to shift our anxiety energy to Krishna. He is going to worry about his devotee. So we are his devotee. So he let him worry. Na? Why should we take the anxiety? And so Sarva Lokam, right? He is a Maha Vishnu Karno Dakshayi Vishnu, creating all universes. So let's have a quick glimpse of the 5th chapter. He speaks about, which is very important, Nishkama, work in devotion or renunciation. He says both are good, but better is to do Nishkama. 5.7 to 12, he says how to perform Nishkama. 13 to 16, 3 doers, right? 17 to 26, liberation by focusing on the supreme soul. 27, 28, Astanga Yoga is introducing, which we are going to see in length next chapter. 29, peace on the platform of liberation. He is going to see this. So with this, we are ending the chapter. Your doubts, please type. Your attendance, please link. The link is there. Please go ahead. And your quizzes, please answer. Right? Many of you all have not started the quiz. Please keep up. Pancha kalpada rupyascha kricha sindhubhya evacha atidana pavanebhyo vaisnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So any doubts, please go ahead and shoot, and after that I'm going to show you what video you want. You want the karma video or you want a ghost video?
Karma video, naturally.
Okay. Sure. Anybody else? Anyone wants ghost videos? If someone was me, I would have told ghost video. No.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna, yeah, go ahead with the doubts and I'll play the video at the end. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
The question that you asked first, like who is doing the activities? So I'm thinking we are the only that we are doing, because we have the freedom to do all the things. Then we are only doing. So the actual doer is we only, right?
Yes. Yes, you're right.
Hare Krishna.
Doer is we, Prabhu, but end of the day, we need, your answer is point on, your actual doer is we. But we need to have a little sanction. We need to have that credit. For the 10 rupees, also we need to have a sanction from Krishna and by Maya. But doer is awesome. Undoubtedly, your question is right. But is that your statement, or you are having a doubt, or you just clarifying? Okay.
No, I'm asking whether I'm
right.
correct or not.
You're right. Actual doer is only us. Because we desire, that is why they say curb lust. So actual doer is very much us. We are the ones who are doing every action because we have freedom and we are either using or misusing. So we are the actual doers. Perfect.
We have the discrimination power also.
Yes, we have the discrimination.
Mataji, one question from me, Shyam Prasad here.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, in the verse 24, Krishna says, ultimately he attains me, supreme. What is that means? Means he attains the power of the Krishna, or he attains the rupa of the Krishna, or he attains the qualities of the Krishna. What that meaning? The ultimate.
Are you talking about the extension of tolerate?
Verse 24, Mataji. Verse 24.
Yeah, I'm going there.
Just go there.
Wait, Prabhu. No, 1 second. Just 1 second. Prabhu. I'll go to the verse itself. That's easier. 1 second.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen, Prabhu?
Yes, now we can see.
So one who, please read the translation, Prabhu.
Oh, it is very, very small, Mataji. One who happiness is within, who is active and rejoice within, and whose aim is inwards, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. That is my question. Ultimately,
no, I got it. So what they are telling is, so somebody who's happy within, right? That's what I told. Pure devotees do not even ask or care for liberation. Why? Because they are very much liberated within. They are very happy within, and therefore they are liberated. So what is liberation? Liberation means freedom from the material world, right? So he's already liberated, and he automatically is attaining the Supreme. Means after the death, he is going to reach Krishna is one story which we know. But even during his lifetime, he is literally living with Krishna, right, Prabhu? Because he is not attached to the material world. He has crossed all the entanglements. So if you read this, unless one is able to relish happiness from within, how can one retire from the external engagements meant for deriving superficial happiness? You have to take, let's say, a stone and an axe, right? You can take only one. So if you're having a stone in your hand, you have to drop it and only take the axe. So material world enjoyment is like the stone. And the axe, if you want to take it, you have to drop the stone. What we are trying to do is in the same hand, we are trying to hold the stone also and axe also, and we are talking. So therefore, a liberated person enjoys happiness by factual experience. He can therefore sit silently at any place, enjoy the activities of life from within. Such a liberated person no longer desires external material happiness. That state is called Brahma Bhuta, attaining which one is assured of going back. So when you reach that state, you're assured of going back to Krishna. 1, back to home. So that assurance is there. 2, even when they are there, they are here. I'll tell you an example of yourself, Prabhu. 6 o'clock, you're here. 6 o'clock to 7:15, there is an amazing news channel which is going on, and most men are love news. They used to fight for newspapers, I heard, in the house. And also there are some nice serials, right? Why Mataji and Prabhuji's here are sitting and listening to this class? Why are you, and you're so connected? And that is yesterday, Mataji was telling, and Sandhya Mataji was specifically highlighting that we feel so peaceful, very calm, we are relishing, right? And so these are the words which are spoken by them. It's not just words, these are experiences. So my only request will be, I would want everyone, to go by a factual feeling that you should not, it's very difficult to immediately do that, but aim that. So what they are telling is their freedom and their growth over there is assured to Krishna Loka, not only after death, but even now they are in such a happy place, happy situation that they have brought that heaven or that Swarga or actually the Vaikuntha is on earth. That is why they say, Prabhupada always says, when they were traveling and when they lost the route, they said that, oh, you lost the route. He says, no, I'm in Vaikuntha. How? Because Vaikuntha is when you're with the devotees, and I am with the devotees. So I'm seeing Vaikuntha and I am in Vrindavan because I'm seeing Vrindavan. And same thing happened with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where they mistook him and they redirected him when he was taking sannyasi. Instead of Vrindavan, they brought him back to where Advaita Acharya is there. And Advaita Acharya, he was telling Advaita Acharya, what? Is it so? He said, no. Wherever you are there, that is Vrindavan for me. So wherever there is a devotee, that is Vrindavan. So these people are very happy and content. So that means they are already seeing what is Vaikuntha means. Kunta means a place of problem. Vaikuntha is free of troubles and problems. This person does not have problems here. So literally he is experiencing Vaikuntha, right? So that is what is the explanation. I hope I have answered. Hare Krishna.
No, Mataji, actually my specific question is, ultimately the devotee attains the supreme. Means what? Attains means what?
Ultimately, he will reach Krishna. Attain supreme means it's not that he will go and merge with Krishna or he will become Krishna. Attains means what? He ultimately, Prabhu, ultimately, I am going to, if I tell I'm going to attain or I'm going to reach a particular destination, it means I will go there. So ultimately, he attains supreme means ultimately he will reach Krishna's destination.
Destination is where that is where I am getting a lot of confusion. Or otherwise, we will get the qualities of the Krishna, or we will get the powers of the Krishna, or we get the rupa.
You will achieve his supreme book. Already you are having the qualities. You will never get the qualities. Nobody gets qualities of Krishna 100%, but you get 78% of the qualities of Krishna. They are very close to Krishna, and ultimately they will reach the abode of Krishna. They will reach the Vaikuntha or the Goloka Vrindavan.
Okay.
That is what we are all desiring, Prabhu. We all want to reach Goloka Vrindavan, and ultimately we are going there. I know it's a little difficult for you because you want to stay here, but ultimately you will also come.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I have a small
Hare
doubt.
Krishna. Yes.
Actually, it's not a small doubt. I'm 100% believe in this philosophy. We are provided the transcendental knowledge through Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad and Vedic scriptures. And at the same time, Krishna gave realization for this purpose, and at the same time given freedom also for the conditioned souls for the getting realization. And also Bhagavad Gita is spoken for us, not for Arjuna. It is crystal clear. And he has created Yogamaya to Arjuna to forget everything. And on behalf of Arjuna, he is teaching Bhagavad Gita to us only. So I'll just want to explain with a small example. My son or my kid, throughout his life, he doesn't realize even providing the philosophy and freedom. But he's anyway, all the conditioned souls are traveling, are roaming all 84 lakhs of species, and they don't get realization, right? Right. Only some of the souls are great souls. Also, they're just using this philosophy and they get realized and by approaching the spiritual master. But most of the conditioned souls, they're committing a lot of mistakes in the society. They're just making a lot of domestic violence and other things. But they provided all this philosophy, but still they're not able to get the realization to go back to Godhead. But as a compassionate, I think on all 64 qualities of Krishna, he's so compassionate. That is the beauty of Krishna. So how Krishna is tolerating this? His children are suffering a lot in this material world. Though he provided the knowledge, but still they're not come to that platform. But they're suffering. How, being a father, how he's able to tolerate this pain? Because kids are suffering, right?
So that's why I gave you an opening statement that, he is he powerful or merciful? It looks contradictory. I get your point. So I just tell you one thing. Touch wood, it should not happen, but let's assume that any of our child is become a drug addict.
Yeah.
Right? So the parent puts the child in a rehabilitation center. Yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
And rehabilitation center is a very painful exercise. It's not easy. The person goes through a lot of trauma. Yeah. He vomits, he swallows, he goes through a lot of pain. Yes or no? It's not an easy thing. Now, why is the parent tolerating that? Why should the child be put and taken into any trauma, whichever child? It could be 16 years, the child could be 26 years, the child could be 36 years. And the kind of bodily reactions they have, because once they are used to a drug withdrawal symptom, which they call, is very severe. They bodily, they have headaches, they have vomiting, they go through tremendous pain, right? The mother or the father knows this. It's not that they are unaware. And sometimes rehabilitation takes even 3 years to 5 years. Why do they do that? Are they so rude and they want to get rid of the son or the daughter or whoever?
Yeah, definitely they want to get rid of all these things.
Is that the reason why the mother has put in the rehabilitation center? Mataji, just 1 second. Can we also take, if you don't mind, can we take the views of others, other mothers who are here? So, any other mother or the father, do you think a parent goes and puts the child in a rehabilitation center because the parent wants to get rid of the child? Is that the thought?
No. They would want the child to be corrected. I mean, at least go back.
Mataji, your voice is very soft. Can you raise it a little bit?
Yeah, the child, they want the child to be corrected, meaning, get rid of the bad habits.
So you want the child to be corrected, right? Same, lot of mothers send the child to a hostel. Many mothers don't like child going to hostel.
Everybody is expect the same thing, but being I have power, right? Because Krishna has power to create the yoga maya to Arjuna. In the same way, why don't Krishna does the same thing to the conditioned souls and taking back all the souls to Golok Vrindavan?
He can take.
Rather than
he has the power to take. But what will happen is if he takes to the Goloka Vrindavan, you have already come here because you have told that Krishna, I don't want you. Exactly like what I am telling you. Hostel. You have an amazing house. You have a 3 BHK or a 4 or a 5 BHK house, centralized AC. You provide everything. But the son or the daughter will tell, I want to be in the hostel. I need freedom. Right?
Yeah, of course. No, by creating yoga maya, you can forget everything. No, then
so
after going to Golok Vrindavan, after transferring to Golok Vrindavan, he forget everything. No, and there is no condition. There is no condition, right? So once after transforming to Golok Vrindavan, he will become unconditioned, right? Any soul either transferring to Golok Vrindavan, they'll become unconditioned, right? Then they forget everything like Arjuna. They have to do nothing, right? So they'll act according to Krishna's instructions. Right? Can't Krishna eradicate all the impurities from the souls and take it back to Krishna?
He can. But as I said, now what is about detoxing center? They eradicate the impurities of the body. But for that, someone has to make an attempt and go there, right? So some steps should be there. I agree with you. Can Krishna do? Yes, he can do. But why is he not doing is because as a conditional soul, the moment he goes to Goloka, he does not get purified. The moment he gets purified, he goes to Goloka, right? So therefore, if a conditioned soul goes as it is and he is forgetting everything, fine, he can forget. Then do you see the individuality of the soul is completely lost?
Yeah.
Soul is an individual.
Individuality is lost.
So let's say that you have a child and the child was very bad. I'm just giving an option. Is very bad, very rude, he's behaving very bad and all that. Right? And the doctor, a psychiatrist advises, I know your child is really a bad guy. Can I give him an electric shock and he will forget everything? He will forget everything. Okay. And he's going to be perfect. He will remember the core of studies. He will remember, he will drive, but he's going to forget everything. Will you agree?
Yeah, and I need to add one more point, Mataji, before coming to this material, because by glance itself, Krishna can impregnate so many billions of spirits in this nature, and also nature has designed in such a way that they have to commit. So actually the soul is actually Sachidananda Vigraha before coming into the contaminated world. And before that, it is a Sachidananda Vigraha only. Before taking birth, it is Sachidananda Vigraha only. But only when contacting with the material world, so due to the different influence of modes of material nature, good, passion, ignorance, it is getting addicted and it is contaminating with the material world. That's why it is showing that nature. Other than how can, you understand my point, Mataji?
No, I don't. What I mean, I don't understand what you're actually, what I understood is the soul is coming here, so it is getting contaminated. Is that your question?
Yeah.
Yes. So the soul is coming.
That is created by Krishna only, no?
No, it is created by themselves. Thanks. Now you got it. Now I understand. So the soul coming here is provided by Krishna, not created by Krishna. Krishna is creating this material world because you as a Jivatma wants to enjoy. You do not like to be in Goloka Vrindavan, just like your son does not want to be in the house or daughter does not want, he wants to go to the hostel, right?
But this material world is not enjoying place, right? Krishna only said that this is not the right place to stay here. Please come back to me. This is not at all the right place for enjoying or for staying, because in this material world, good is also makes miseries and passion also makes miseries. And Krishna knows this very well, right? Because of external energy only the total material creation has created, right? So that's why we are committing mistakes. I know the reason why my child is committing mistakes, because I only has created this material world in such a way, because there is a tendency, the propensity is there to commit mistakes. So being a father, I know everything why this my child is suffering, because that reason is only I created only, no? So why don't Krishna?
You have to give me 1 minute. If you can just give me 1 minute, I'll explain. Krishna has not created material world for you to suffer or for me to suffer. Krishna has created a material world because somebody wants it. That is what I'm saying. So you know very well
I
that
know
you are
much,
given.
but at the same time,
Mataji, give me 1 minute. Can I explain? Then if you hear, you will be
Okay.
able to understand actually.
Okay.
I got your question. Just give me 1 second. Let me explain to you. And then, you know, if you don't understand, wait for 18 chapters. At the end, you can ask this question because you'll be convinced. I understand your point. So material world is created by Krishna. Why did Krishna create the material world? Because we want it. He didn't create material world because he wants, because 3/4 is spiritual world and 1/4 is material world. Krishna, now it's the same story. You know that 10 rupees you have given to your son because you're giving 10 rupees only, he's buying a cigarette. So why are you giving the 10 rupees? Why is the mother and father giving the 10 rupees?
Because
right? You only instigated that 10 rupee to buy it. You may tell, yes, it's perfect, we should not buy. It's very easy to tell. But practical life, it's not possible, right? Second thing is people spoil the children by buying mobiles. Statement is very nice, but is it possible? Because today's world, we have to keep up. So you have to give a lot of things, because today, I think because of COVID, we are forced to buy an electronic device, even to a child who's probably in first standard or second standard, right? But the fact is, we do not have a choice. But is there good and bad? Yes, there is. So can you stop the bad happening? Yes, there is. You can stop the bad by controlling the bad happening, right? So just 1 second, I'm running off power, so I have to get the power outlet from here. So therefore, you can hear. So therefore, Krishna is creating all this because you want to enjoy, and he has created a world for you to enjoy independent of him. In spite of that, he is very sweet that he is sitting inside every person as a super soul and Paramatma, which is the greatest thing of Krishna, because you won't be doing that otherwise. You are, and the thing is, if he is going to control everything, then we'll become a robot, which we don't want. It's like you give your son and tell that I'm giving you 10 rupees. You are free to do whatever you want, but I am going to police everything. So I am sending you a bodyguard and watching every bit of what you're doing. You think your son is going to like it? He is not going to like. If you keep a spy, he is just going to hate you, because he will tell, don't you trust me? Or even otherwise, he's not going to like it. None of us are going to like it, right? So is Krishna. He's not going to like that. He will, so because he wants freedom, and so is your son. He also wants freedom. So the bottom line is, everybody needs freedom, and that is the absolute requirement of the living child. Did I answer your question, Mataji?
Yeah, Mother, somewhat. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to be, because this is a.
Yeah, we are after independence, right?
Because it's a free will and independence. Yes, so I'm sorry if I couldn't convince you, because you'll have to wait.
No, not like the 100%. I believed in this philosophy. I've been practicing since 12 years, but some thought is bothering me. I just want to get the calculation. Somebody asked me.
It's difficult because we've been conditioned not just in this life, we've been conditioned in many lives to understand this concept. So it's not that easy conceptually, because jnana is different, vijnana is different, right? We all have a knowledge. We are not the body, we are the soul. Right? I'm going to look up, or let's say your husband is going to tell, hey, can't you just keep quiet? You won't get irritated, right? Because it's natural. So will I, right? So why? Because we have the jnana, we're not the body. But someone tells us, we just can't take it light. It's going to cause us reaction. So is there any other question? Otherwise, I'm going to show you the karma video. And I want you to watch it. I wanted to tell the story of our Bilva Mangala Thakur part 2, but I think it's getting late for you all, so you all are leaving. So can I just play the video? Can I play it now, or you all have more questions? Any more questions? And I forgot quickly, there are some messages in the chat very beautifully who had messaged. Abhishek, maybe to test us and create an opportunity to overcome and attain Krishna. Yes, our deep desire, it may be because of the past karma. All of this is true. So I'm just going to play the video. Yes,
Mataji, this to summarize this particular chapter is to detach completely from this material world and attach to the Krishna consciousness. That is what Krishna is saying in this in the chapter. That is the main idea of the chapter. What I understand.
Yes, Prabhu. That's exactly what Krishna is telling. Is he's not telling detach from material world. He's telling that attach. As long as you are attached to the material world, you will continue to come back to the material world.
Yes.
So it is not. If you want to go to spiritual world, then you have to go for it. Right. So you can't have both. You can take only one road, left or right. You can't tell I want to go left also, right also. So that's
no. If I want to go this material route, if I strongly believe that the whole material world is the complete manifestation of the Krishna. And everything is the proprietor is the Krishna, and everything is Krishna. Because I don't have any authority to claim as a proprietorship over this material world. Then if I strongly put this in my mind, is it good to follow this path also? That is why I want to come back again and again.
Prabhu, you're absolutely right. Whatever you're thinking is actually transcendental. So you cannot tell this is material, this is transcendental. The moment you bring Krishna itself, you're talking transcendental. There's nothing matter. What you're telling is everything. In fact, you have to wait till the 8th chapter, where you will have, in fact, 7th chapter. You will understand what you're talking. How is the energy of Krishna? You're absolutely right. And how spiritual world is an energy, and what is the difference between two, and what is better. All this probably, Prabhu, if you can wait till for a couple of chapters, 6th and the 7th chapter, end of the 7th chapter, please keep this question, and I hope I'll be able to answer that then.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna. So I'm going to play this video. I'm just covering my face. Sorry, I'm just Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Enjoyed the video.
Yes.
I hope it gave a little bit of clarity to the questions which are either asked in this group or not asked but unresolved in our mind. Hare Krishna. And any other questions? Otherwise, we can end the sessions. Sorry, couldn't accommodate Bilva Mangala Thakur. It's getting late. Next week, I will tell that story. So next time, what I will do is 7:15 sharp. I will stop Q&As and tell the story and then continue.
Mataji, regarding this video just you have shown, just briefly explain what has happened. What I understand, he accumulated a lot of bad things. Finally, all these bad things has thrown him into that some water or something like that. Just
No, exactly. So karma, what we think is we are thinking of what I do and what I feel. So knowingly or unknowingly, he's just accumulating karma at various stages. He just constantly keeps accumulating karma, and all this he accumulates, and he is finally what he is at the end experiencing is what he has actually accumulated. So whatever we are getting, this body or whatever good or bad things happening, and that's why I started, is God merciful or is he powerful? He's both. Just like the judge, right? One judge is offering a punishment to someone, but he's also giving money, right? Compensation to someone. Why is judge being partial? Because there's a law. Same way, if Krishna is giving equal for everyone, then it's not right, right? He has to do things, he has to reciprocate, right? Likewise, here it's the same situation. Whatever karma you have accumulated is your karma balance and it is in your backdrop. And that comes back to you as very big bag, and every janma you can only handle a little bit of karma. So it's given in installments.
Yes.
Does the karma get rid of us if it is there? If you really turn into Krishna conscious, he wipes off the karma which is there and it removes from the base so that you can get liberated. And because you really want to go to Krishna, even though you have accumulated karma, he is squaring it off, just like how a president can give off or sign off a particular punishment. Like that, Krishna can sign off that, which is his power. It shows he is powerful and merciful. Therefore, you are eligible to go to Goloka Vrindavan.
Okay. Thank you. Krishna Mataji.
Yeah. So we end the meeting. Hare Krishna. Everyone one good Hare Krishna before we end. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Mataji.
Please mark your attendance. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. And again, requesting forward the links to everybody for the new batch. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare